Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Before we get into today's topic, which I should probably grab the books for, I want to talk to you. There's a few books today. I want to talk to you about a serious topic, and that topic is Bleecker Street Comics. Bleak has been doing videos of him singing and playing the guitar lately that I really think that everybody should go and check out. I've seen pretty much every one that he's done, and it takes a lot of guts to do what he's doing, and we should all give him an appreciation. The man runs Church. He's an award winner. Church is a great show. You should also be watching that. Bleecker has done a heck of a job around here, and he's been a good friend of this channel, and I just wanted to say thanks, Bleak, and go check him out. I really think you'll enjoy these songs. Now, we have done 2 parts already of what I want to cover today. Today is part 3 of They Are the Best of Friends. Yes, the Superman-Batman friendship. We're going to start today with what's left of the world's finest run, comics run that I have. We stopped at issue 301 in the last video. So today we are going to begin with issue 302, which is a nice book cover, of Batman wearing kryptonite gloves slapping the crap out of Superman. Because everyone knows best friends fight once in a while, right? Now we have issue 303, where there's a plague. Batman is in this wicked suit. In this time period, by the way, of World's Finest, there is a theme where Batman seems to be the one rescuing Superman more than the other way around. This is around the time in comic books that Batman is beginning to surpass Superman in popularity. This is number 304. And number 306, just a really cool Kirby Crackle cover. Now this series ends with issue 323, and the ending of this series does coincide with Crisis on Infinite Earths, but we'll get to that shortly. This is 307, Superman yet again in some sort of trouble. And now we have a character named Quantum in 309. Why does he want to kill? Yet again, we see Superman taking the brunt, judging by the greenness. Must be kryptonite, again. And Batman is trying to save his butt. Here we have issue 310. With an unknown hero coming in. His name is Sonic, by the way. And this is issue 311. By the way, Sonic was introduced as a way to, he was a ripoff of Power Man. And he looked like they were trying to increase their African American representation in heroes, and he ended up being a bust. So 311. Next up is 312. This one was interesting because this was a group that was into magic that was trying to take over Gotham City. And of course, this is one of the few times that Superman had to come in to help Batman. And, magic being magic, it's like, oh, Batman ends up helping Superman again. So, 314 is the debut of Executrix. It says, would you like to mess with her? My answer is yes. I'd love to tangle, but that's beside the point. My wife might have something to say about that. Next up, this cover is a real eyeful. It's Superman Batman 315. And the next issue is 318. This is the second and last appearance of Sonic. As I said, he didn't work out very well. Next up, and this is the last issue of the run I have, is issue 319, where Superman is attached to a thought machine because, and thus, you know, you'll see what happens if you read this. It is at this point in their relationship that Crisis on Infinite Earths hits. With the reboot into From Crisis to Post-Crisis, Superman and Batman were no longer friends. Superman didn't respect Batman because Batman worked on the fringes of the law, as he said, as a vigilante, where Batman didn't like Superman because he found him arrogant and he was afraid that the power would make would make him go rogue someday, so he was always fighting. Now, as time went on during this era, they ended up respecting each other without actually becoming friends, and basically every time they were together until Infinite Crisis, it was a little awkward and there was a little tension. Infinite Crisis happened in '94. Things thawed out a bit in their relationship. And of course, after Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis and some of this other stuff, well, things were being reset back to some of the ways they were. And in October 2003, they started a new series of books called Superman Batman, which again emphasized that they were good friends, if not best friends. I would say they're best friends because they do, the one thing they had learned was to respect and to trust each other. And as I said, most people, most comic fans liked when they were good buddies. And there were a lot more stories they could tell if they were friends, as opposed to sort of the opposite end of the things. So, the rest of this video, I am going to show parts of the Superman Batman series. There will be a part 4 to this series soon. Part 4 will be the final part, because we are going to, in part 4, cover the rest of the Superman Batman series and do some of the more recent series that they've done together. So, I don't have issue 1 of Batman Superman, but a lot of people would be familiar with this storyline because issues 1 to 6 is Batman, Superman, Public Enemies. And this was turned into a cartoon, like one of the animated DC things, which I've watched. And so this storyline may actually be familiar to a few people out there. This is issue 2. This is issue 3 with the cool wanted signs. Issue 4, the part where the heroes catch up with them. As you can see here, Hawkman is going after Batman, and Shazam is going after Superman. By the way, for future reference in my videos, I am going to refer to the DC version of Captain Marvel as Shazam. And if I talk about Captain Marvel as Captain Marvel, I am referring to him in his pre-crisis outside of the Fawcett universe. Issue number 5. This is the last one of that storyline that I have at the moment. Note the Supergirl here. This is the one that Cirel, I believe her name was, or Kirel, who came from the future. And look at little Crypto. the next major storyline in this book is a big one to me, because the next major storyline, starting with issue 8, was the appearance and return of Kara Zor-El to the universe in post-crisis. Now, I have this. This has got the Trinity. By the way, Michael Turner is the artist, and it's just fantastic. This is issue 8, where Supergirl arrives. This book gets reprinted as Supergirl Zero when Supergirl gets her own series with a different Michael Turner cover. And the Michael Turner cover for Supergirl Zero is the one I think most people are familiar with of Supergirl. This here, issue 9, Superman is teaching Kara about her powers. It is key to know that when Supergirl arrives, Batman is very wary of her. He doesn't trust that all of a sudden Clark's cousin has come out of the sky. And a big step about this was Krypto didn't like her. And that was considered a positive towards Batman's feeling of things. This here is issue 10, where Wonder Woman takes Kara to Themyscira, where she can learn to be a warrior / use her powers wisely. By the way, this storyline is the one that begins the modern day accepted part, where Kal was a baby when she was a teenager, but she got caught in 30 years warp or whatever. And even though she was in suspended animation, so she's still a teenager, but this has incorporated the Power Girl part into her story. Here's issue 11. Supergirl has been kidnapped by guess who? You can see it on the cover. And number 12. Guess who's got influence? Issue 13 was the end of this Darkseid Supergirl run, where Superman manages with Batman and Wonder Woman's help, manages to rescue Supergirl, but also tells Darkseid that if he bothers her again, he might forget his oath. This storyline from 8 to 13, one of my favorites of all time. And it isn't just because Supergirl is involved. It is well written. It is well drawn. Michael Turner did almost all of it. Yeah, I think he did the whole run of this series. Michael Turner, gone too soon. What a great artist. I put him up with Dave Stevens in a heartbeat as two of the best that were gone so soon. Next up, we have issue 14, which is the next storyline, and this one's called Pretenders to the Throne. This one has an interesting storyline where I believe this is the one where Saturn Queen... No, not quite. I'm thinking of another one. Sorry. Here is number 15. Again, another great cover. And 16. By this time, by the way, Batman has gotten over his issues with Supergirl, and in fact sets up Supergirl with a nice little trust fund on Clark's behalf. It must be nice to be rich. And here we have Superman Batman 21. At this point in the series, things start going away from canosity, shall we say, in the sense that um, the stories aren't as big, long, and as heavy, because you get books like this. You start getting imaginary tales like issue 24, which is a throwback, by the way, to the times where we had silly little Silver Age stories. You also get issues like this, where issue 27, which has the Huntress and Power Girl. This series started to explore different parts of the Superman and Batman worlds mixed together, and that was actually a plus for this series, because as this series goes on, you see them starting to lean on each other again, similar to what they did in the World's Finest era. And I think that that's great. This series should have continued. Number 28, Martian Manhunters. Another thing I liked about this series was they had a lot of guest stars. It wasn't always just Batman and Superman. They were never afraid to help out together other people, like in the case of this with John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, or in this case, the Green Lantern Corps, number 29. Next up, we have Superman Batman. This is the last one I'm going to show today. Superman Batman 30, which is a slight change to what we're used to when Superman lands on the planet Earth. This is another what-if story. As you can see the horror on Jonathan Kent's face when he sees the alien-looking Superman. And Martha can't even really look. I guess you could say for Kal-El's is lucky that Kryptonians look like humans, at least on the outside. What I would think would be interesting is to see, and it is never covered in a book, what is a Kryptonian psychology like? For example, you've got Vulcans where, their liver's where their heart is and vice versa, or whatever, and they have green copper-based blood. You never see really what the difference is between, other than the fact that the Kryptonian skin cells are more dense and are, solar batteries for, white and yellow light. That's all you ever, other than that, you don't really see much differences. Atomically, I mean, it's mentioned in that Superman and Supergirl do have slightly alien-looking eyes. And that's one of the reasons why Clark wears glasses, because the lenses actually make his eyes look more human. But I digress. And Supergirl later puts in those, oh my God, what's the word? Jesus. Contacts. Puts in contacts later in her own series when she decides to try and have a secret identity. So, this concludes today's quick They're the Best of Friends Part 3. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Tell me if you have the books in between that I don't. I'm always adding. In fact, I've added 3 World's Finest earlier issues since my videos, but because I've dealt with that period, I didn't want to throw them in here. So I am constantly buying books and constantly adding to this series, to this. Actually, I'm beginning to think more and more that World's Finest, with Superman and Batman being friends, is probably one of my favorite books of all time. It's just a lot of, yes, we had imaginary stories in the 60s and the 70s with the Super Sons. We had a lot of them, the last 6 or 7 issues, they were very weepy about it. It's like, because I guess the people knew that the series was going to be canceled and things were going to be changed with Crisis. So it felt like two old friends going off in their separate ways, and I love you and all this stuff. But bringing back Superman, Batman, and this was a title I was able to buy when I first came back to comic books. It ended shortly after, when it ended with the rest of them when they decided to do the New 52. It went right through. But I had started collecting some back issues and, of course, the current run at the time. I love the series. It is now, and in part 4, I will show you, there's a current series called Batman Superman World's Finest. Also, there was a series in between called Batman Superman from the New 52. We are going to take a look at what's left of these two, of Superman, Batman, coupled with a bit of the Batman, Superman, and maybe this will end up being 5 parts, because I think I'm going to leave the 5th. Actually, I'm going to leave the current run out. I will just cover the rest of Superman, Batman, and then the New 52 Batman, Superman in part 4. Part 4 will be done probably about a month from now. Thank you very much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. My name is Matt, and I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.